Still the 2nd of March 2022. I'm talk to you a little bit about the Russia-Ukraine stuff going on. We're not seeing much movement by the Russians over there. The 20, 40 mile long convoy is still, for about the third or fourth day now, is still 20 miles outside of the capital of Ukraine. Not making much sense. We're starting to see some footage of them drone striking it, supposedly. Guys, if that was sitting there and you were defending your city and you had access to an Air Force, artillery, stuff like that, would you not be hitting that 40-mile long convoy sitting outside your town? Something's not right with this. A lot of y'all watched the State of the Union last night. I watched part of it, of course, about half of it, and then it just got into the normal, sounding like a campaign speech, so I turned it off. He talked a little bit on Ukraine, and once again, told them we are not going to fight Russia. We're not going to go head to head with Russia. This is all snowballing into something bigger. It's all this is doing. I don't know what the end game is. A lot of people say, going to reset society with it. Could be. One thing people still not understanding, I've heard people continue to say, well, we're sanctioning Russia, It's not meant to be an immediate effect on them. It's meant to squeeze them in the long term. That makes sense, right, guys? It does. It makes sense. We're going to put this sanction on you. We're going to put that sanction on you. But guess what we are still doing? We're still doing it. Europe's doing it. Germany's doing it. Pretty much all of the EU is still doing it. Guess what it is? We are still buying oil from Russia. So technically, we're funding this invasion by buying oil. Now, last night, the president could have turned all our oil back on and we wouldn't be dependent on other countries for oil. Of course, he didn't, because he would have had to backtrack. Well, y'all understand that. He would have had to come from his policy all the way back and be like, well, I made a mistake. I'm not going to do that. A president's not going to do that. A president's not going to get on TV and admit that he made a mistake. Guys, until we cut the oil off from them, we're paying them every day to fight this war. Somewhere in the average neighborhood of $700 million a day is what they're making off their oil. And they keep screaming, well, we're putting restrictions on them. They didn't go after the banks that handle their oil. They can still access their money, even with the SWIFT banking system sanction. A lot of people didn't understand that. They can still access their money. I made a video on it a couple days ago back. Go look at it. It's just, it's the hard way to get to it. It's not electronic. It's like us not having a debit card. It's where we have to physically use cash, or physically have to go to the bank to get money out. Old ways. Guys, it's all smoke and mirrors. Yes, there's something going on over there. People are getting killed every day. But the way Putin is moving in doesn't make sense. The way Ukraine is defending itself doesn't make sense. If you're sitting there and there's a 40-mile long convoy 20 miles outside of your town, you're going to go hit that. You have to hit it, especially if it's set still. The only thing I can figure, if it's moving to the city, guys, they've got to be pushing these vehicles because they've been there for a couple days. They're definitely not driving them if they're not moving no closer than a couple hundred yards a day. Think about that. Something is not right with all this over. I'm telling y'all. Get in here and do some research yourself. I mean, you can read up on Ukraine, It's not all goody two-shoes over there. Eventually here, Putin will probably get surround the capital eventually. Then what are we going to hear? All this, we're beating them, we're whooping them. We're not going to hear that. We're going to start hearing Ukraine scream for even more help than what they're asking for now. If you're surrounded and cut off, they're going to be hollering for help. I think eventually one of these EU nations is going to get drawn into it. They're going to. And it's going to be a NATO country. And then guess what? We've just snowballed it and escalated it all the way into technically a world war. You got your stuff going on in China. Nobody's paying attention to that. Right now would be the perfect time for China to move in on Taiwan. They're seeing the world's not doing nothing to Russia for it. Think about that. I think it would be a hard fight, even though China will outnumber them drastically. Taiwan is pretty tech savvy over there. They put up a good fight. I know they would. But guys, y'all got to start paying attention to this. We're only seeing, if you're just watching one news source, you're just seeing what they're reporting. Another thing on this, them reporters was able to go everywhere when they were sitting on the border. We were seeing videos, pictures, reports every night of this massive troop, movement. Okay, now since they've moved into Ukraine, we're not seeing nothing. I mean, I haven't even seen a press coverage or nothing of the convoy except for pictures that, who knows that's where that picture was taken. That could have been taken when they were in Russia moving. You see what I'm saying? We're only getting fed so much information on this. And if it don't make you say, what's going on? Start reading on it. Something's not right over there. I think we're going to get drawn into this. It may take a while. I think a EU nation will get drawn into it first. Of course, now they're using the nuclear threat. That gets everybody's ears perked up. But guys, check in on this. Read up on it. Anything I say, look at it. We're still buying oil from them. We're funding this invasion. Europe's funding this invasion. Germany's funding this invasion. Russia pumps their oil through Ukraine right now. That other pipeline that was supposed to go through the ocean, that was going to bypass Ukraine. So I think they're paying Ukraine something like billions of dollars to pump that oil through there. Russia is. So guys, there's a lot more play here than we think. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Please like or dislike the video. Drop a comment below. I like hearing from y'all. Tell me what y'all think's going on over there. Guys, everybody be safe out there. And have a good day.